Hey guys, how are you doing? So since my last video, I got a chance to meet a few special educators and also checked in with a few special schools about what could be the next steps. And almost everyone's unanimously had a view to say, can you get his screening or assessment done regarding his current state? And although we had done one in 2022, perhaps a more recent or updated one is what they were seeking. And what I've understood is, uh, in the last 3 years or since his birth, his condition is not going to change. It's only either one of two or both, or none of either behavior or cognitive abilities. These are the only two things that could have evolved or regressed, or remained the same. So regarding his condition or diagnosis, that's not going to change. But still, it is probably the baselining of where and the particular institute or school wants to evaluate him on further. So they want a baseline, and that's where this assessment comes into the picture. So the last time, 3 years back, I had got it done in St. John's, and this time I thought, let me try NIMHANS, especially because I met Dr. Shravanti in IIT Madras when I had gone there last month. So there was a lot of positive vibes in what she said. But she said, getting a slot in NIMHANS is extremely painful process. I chose the word painful. She said it's a very lengthy process. So let me take you through in today's video on what to expect in case you're planning to head to NIMHANS to get your child assessed. And it was a very, very lengthy process. So make sure you're well rested and you reach very early. I was told to come between 8 and 11, so I thought, okay, if I go by 8 also, and there'll be a queue of maybe 20, 30, 50 people. To my surprise, I reached at 8, parked my vehicle, and by the time I reached the queue, it was a very, very long queue. And as you can see in the photo here, that it's like a shed where everyone stands. So luckily it's not too hot, but I'm sure in the summer the sheet would radiate heat again. So keep yourself hydrated, carry a bag of water, maybe a couple of fruits, bananas, etc. I reached there by 8:15, and I found there's no direction on what to do next, but I did find someone who advised me to say that you need to get a slip, a token kind of a thing, by a security who's standing outside. So I got it, and as you can see, the number was 289. So that was the queue at 8:15 when I reached the queue. Quite a lot of wait. And this is the only OPD queue for all departments within NIMHANS. So irrespective of which department you're heading to, you have to get yourself registered. And if this is a fresh registration, you have to be part of this queue. I think around 9:45, 10, we went in. I reached inside, and then there is a pre-registration token which you have to take before going to the registration desk. This is the actual token that is called out and displayed on the screen. So as of this moment, I had spent nearly 1.5 hours to 1 hour 45 minutes in the queue. There is ample place to sit, but it's not very convenient, and people try to come in front of you. It gets a little crampy and so on, but it's not as bad as I'm making it sound. It's still manageable, those 2 hours. And once you get my queue, I got 332. So I was kind of thinking, I got a token of 289 before, and now it's 332. Where did the difference of about 43 come? So then I noticed a lot of people come with recommendations, probably by bribing their way through in the queue, and we saw some couple of guys walking in between with some special access also, and that's how that gets added. So 289 became 332. And while I got 332, I looked at the screen. We were the name calling was for 246, in that range, 240s range. So there was between 240 and 332, which is my number. There's easily going to be an hour. That was what I noticed while waiting there. So by the time I got to the final registration desk, it was 11. It It was around 10:50, 11, so about 50 minutes since I got my pre-registration token. This was quick. He asked me a few details, PAN card, Aadhaar card, and they do accept digital. Luckily, I wasn't carrying a physical copy, and they accepted a digital copy of my Aadhaar or passport. Front and back, basically, it has to have the address of the patient. So that was that. Then the only thing is I don't carry cash anymore, and these guys don't accept UPI for some reason. So I had to walk around, find someone who had cash, paid them back digitally, and got my registration done. A short walk from there, perhaps about 200 meters, is where I was directed to go to my department where I'm supposed to get my child screened, and that is called the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, CAP 200. And that's where I went in, met the lady on the desk, and she looks at the file and says, hey, you're 18th on the list. So 332 there plus 18. And but they said we have a lot of rooms. We have close to 50 assessors and residents, senior residents, and you'll be called upon in the next 15-20 minutes. So just hang around wherever you are around here and get the patient ready. So what I had done till now was I hadn't brought my child along. I left him at home. My house is about 30 minutes, 25 minutes from NIMHANS. So I kind of wanted to, as close as possible, to get to that and then call my child, because otherwise he gets too finicky in a loud space or closed spaces. It's difficult to control him after a point in time. So this is when, at this point, I called my wife to bring my child along, and he reached in about 25 minutes, just in time for our call. We went in and we met the resident. So in 4 hours, we only got to meet a senior resident, right from 8 a.m. when I walked into the premise to right now it was around 12. In the next video, I'll talk about, my experience of meeting the senior resident and professors and a few other members of the fraternity who gave me some very useful tips. So it was worth the wait. The 4 hours till now was worth the wait. See ya.